his thing, BJ, was front and center as part of the documentary last night, and whether it was something that was right. Obviously, it was something that needed to happen in order to win and bring everybody along with him and understand what you needed to do in order to be in his orbit. But the question is, his thing, was it sometimes too much? You even asked the question, they included in the documentary, is he a nice guy or not? And we saw Jordan at one point say, if you don't agree with it, that means you haven't won anything, which is defiant, if not only, insulting to some people potentially. But then you could see he broke down. He broke down talking about the pressure of having that attitude. What did you think of when you saw that last night, BJ?
Well, I think, Rich, when this first started, I kind of always, I was a little bit, I didn't know how this was going to turn out because I know that side. I know that side of him, that he's competitive, and I know what it could look like from the outside looking in. But I also know that if you're going to make a commitment to excellence, you got to make this commitment. Either you're all in or you're all out. The thing, Rich, about him that I know and that we all know, and I think we're seeing, and I think there probably will go there in episode 9 and 10, is that, Rich, he loved the game. And he had this respect for the game at the highest level, right? The goal wasn't to be the greatest player. The goal wasn't to be the leading, vote getter or, MVP of the league, or to be the considered whatever it is people want to debate about. His goal was to respect the game to the highest level and always hold it as the number one priority in his life. And, Rich, that is very difficult, right? Sometimes life gets in the way. But somehow he managed to have the discipline to love the game to that degree because, Rich, why would someone care that much? He's achieved everything individually. He's achieved everything with his team. But he loved the game that much where he cared. And that, Rich, has a vulnerability to it that I understood. He cared, Rich. And you don't practice the way you practice. You don't figure out how to prepare yourself the way he was preparing himself unless you truly, truly care. And he loved the game of basketball. He was an artist who dedicated his life to the craft. And that's what I was concerned about, because when you are living your life that vulnerable, you saw his vulnerability. You saw how he broke down, emotionally. You saw how he prepared himself. You saw how he pushed himself. There was no reason for him to do that other than there was this innate love that he had for the game, and I got it. I got that. I didn't find a problem playing with him because I saw something I knew I was never going to see again in my life. Someone who loved what they did to the maximum level and was willing to do whatever. He never cheated on the line drills. He never cheated the game of basketball. And everything he did was with this one focus in mind. And I just admired it from afar. And I think all of us knew what he was committed to. He made a commitment with his life to the game of basketball, and no one could argue that.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.